Welcome back to Shadow Warfare, the channel where we pull back the curtain on hidden battles, unseen forces, and the truths many are too afraid to speak about. This is not just a place for stories. It's a place for awakening, for sharpening your awareness, and for understanding the deeper layers of spiritual warfare that most people ignore. Today's topic is intense, unsettling, and deeply important. It comes from a perspective that claims insider knowledge, a voice that says it once operated on the other side of the battle. The message is this: we target your spine first. 87% of Christians never protect this body part. Now, before you dismiss that as exaggeration or fear-driven storytelling, ask yourself something. Why do so many people feel drained without explanation? Why do so many carry invisible burdens in their bodies, especially in their back, their posture, their strength, their ability to stand firm? What if there's more going on than just physical strain or stress? What if there is a symbolic and even spiritual dimension to the spine that most people have never considered? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may challenge what you believe, but it might also explain things you've felt for years but couldn't put into words. If you've ever felt weak when you should feel strong, if you've ever felt like something was pushing you down when you were trying to rise, then this message is for you. Imagine being part of a system that studies human vulnerability, but spiritually and physically. According to this X-Witch testimony, the spine is not just a structure of bones and nerves. It represents alignment, authority, and stability. It is the pillar of your body. When it is upright, you stand tall. When it is compromised, everything else begins to collapse slowly. The claim is that attacks don't always come in obvious ways. They don't always look like sudden disasters or dramatic events. Sometimes they are subtle, gradual, and strategic. A slight discomfort here, a persistent heaviness there, a loss of energy that you can't explain. Over time, it builds, and before you realize it, your confidence is shaken, your posture is weakened, and your sense of authority, both physically and spiritually, begins to fade. Think about how often people complain about back pain, stiffness, or fatigue. Most of us attribute it to sitting too long, poor posture, or aging. And yes, those are real factors. But what if, alongside the physical causes, there is also a symbolic layer being exploited? What if the very part of your body that allows you to stand upright is also connected to your ability to resist pressure, to carry burdens, and to remain firm in your beliefs? The S-Witch narrative suggests that weakening the spine is like weakening a foundation. You don't need to destroy a building instantly if you can slowly erode its base. Over time, cracks appear, stability is lost, and eventually, collapse becomes inevitable. Now let's step into a more grounded perspective for a moment. Even outside of any spiritual interpretation, the spine plays a central role in your health. It houses the spinal cord, which connects your brain to the rest of your body. It affects your posture, your movement, your breathing, even your mood. When your spine is misaligned or under strain, it can impact your entire system. So whether you view this topic through a spiritual lens or a purely physical one, the conclusion is surprisingly similar. Neglecting your spine has consequences. But here's where wisdom of the spine goes beyond anatomy. To have a spine is to have courage. To stand tall is to show confidence. To be backboneless is to lack conviction. Language itself reflects how deeply this part of the body is tied to our sense of identity and strength. So when the claim is made that this is a primary target, it's not just about physical discomfort. It's about breaking resilience. It's about making you feel smaller, weaker, less capable of standing firm. Ask yourself, have there been moments when you felt like giving up for no clear reason? Moments when your energy dropped suddenly? Moments when you felt physically heavy, especially in your back, as if something was weighing you down? Whether those experiences are psychological or physiological, they are real, and they deserve attention. Now let's talk about awareness. Because awareness is a protection. If you ignore a problem, it grows. If you recognize it, you can begin to address it. Taking care of your spine is not just about avoiding pain. It's about maintaining your strength. Simple things like improving posture, staying active, stretching regularly, and being mindful of how you carry stress can make a significant difference. Stress, in particular, has a way of settling into the body, often in the shoulders and back. Over time, that tension becomes your normal state, and you forget whether fixed and upright. But beyond the physical, there's also the mental and emotional dimension. When you feel defeated, your posture changes. When you feel confident, your posture changes. The body and mind are constantly influencing each other. So if someone were trying to weaken you, not necessarily in a literal supernatural sense, but in any strategic way, they wouldn't just attack your beliefs directly. They might target your energy, your posture, your physical state. Because once your body is compromised, your mind often follows. This is why self-awareness is powerful. Notice how you sit. Notice how you stand. Notice when your shoulders slump or when your back feels heavy. These are not just physical signals. They can also reflect your internal state. And here's something important: fear is not the goal here. Understanding is. It's easy to take a message like this and turn it into paranoia, to start seeing every ache as an attack. That's not helpful. What is helpful is using the message to take better care of yourself, to stay grounded, and to remain aware of how your body and mind are connected. Strength is not just about belief, it's about alignment. Physical alignment, mental clarity, emotional balance. When those are in place, you are far less vulnerable to any kind of pressure, whether it's external stress, internal doubt, or something you interpret as spiritual. So instead of asking, "Am I under attack?" a more useful question might be, "Am I taking care of the foundation that keeps me strong?" Because regardless of what you believe about the source of your struggles, strengthening your foundation will always work in your favor. Stand tall, literally and figuratively. Pay attention to your body. Release tension where you can. Build habits that support your strength instead of draining it. And most importantly, don't ignore the subtle signs your body gives you. Whether this testimony is taken as metaphor, warning, or belief, the core message remains powerful. The things we overlook are often the things that matter most. And if 87% of people truly neglect something so central to their strength, then the real issue isn't hidden attacks. It's lack of awareness. Stay aware, stay grounded, and don't let anything, seen or unseen, make you forget how strong you are meant to stand.